Hello there, and welcome to part 4A of GP's primer series on cognition, cognitive warfare, the human brain as the battlefield of the 21st century, and the relativistic concepts of reality. In the following part 4B and the subsequent part 4C, I'm going to use two very stark contrasts of the story of Alice, an 18th century cognitive thought experiment, and the story of Alice, a 23rd century cognitive thought experiment. Of course, I use a utopia versus a dystopia in order to show the extremes of both environments and possible outcomes with respect to the cognitive development of Alice. So I will take any criticism, of course, with respect to the bias that is contained within each of the thought experiments, but it's done so in order to demonstrate a point. With respect to the story of Alice, a 19th century cognitive thought experiment, once upon a time, a bright and curious young girl called Alice lived in Dublin, Ireland. It was the 19th century and she was 4 years old. Her cognitive processes were blossoming in a nurturing environment of a loving father, mother, brother and sister in a middle class family. Alice's parents, Patrick and Brigid, were devoted to her well-being and took pride in providing her with a stimulating upbringing. Alice was fortunate to have a close-knit family unit. Her older brother Sean was a positive role model, displaying a balanced and well-adjusted personality. Her sister Tara, who worked as a secretary at a law firm, was always supportive and encouraged Alice's intellectual growth. With such a supportive family and environment, Alice felt safe and loved, and this laid a strong foundation for her cognitive development. The family's evenings were filled with engaging conversation during dinner, where they discussed their daily activities and resolved any issues that arose in each of their respective lives. This shared dialogue nurtured Alice's language and communication skills and allowed her to express her thoughts and feelings confidently. The parents ensured that Alice felt like an individual and emphasised the importance of protecting her freedoms for herself and their family and society at large. Alice's parents understood the significance of education and its role in Alice's cognitive development. And although digital technology was absent in their 19th century environment, they provided Alice with ample learning opportunities. They read to her regularly, exposing her to a wide variety of literature and stimulating her imagination. Alice eagerly delved into science kits, exploring and experimenting with various scientific principles. These experiences ignited Alice's cognitive curiosity and instilled in her a lifelong love of learning. Beyond the confines of their home, Alice's parents exposed Alice to the wonders of nature. They frequently ventured into the countryside with Alice, where she could explore forests, mountains, grasslands and the seafront. Alice learned about animals, plants and the delicate ecosystems surrounding her in these natural environments. And this hands-on experience fostered a deep appreciation for the world around her, nurtured her cognitive understanding of the natural sciences, and Alice's parents also recognised the importance of discipline, patience and respect. They instilled these values in Alice and developed her cognitive abilities and emotional intelligence. They equipped her with the essential skills for navigating the complexities of life and coping mechanisms. Both Gaelic and English were spoken in their home, exposing Alice to different languages and wiring her brain such that she was in a position to easier pick up languages in later life as compared to a child who was brought up in a single language household. This early exposure to bilingualism had numerous cognitive benefits for Alice, enhancing her linguistic and cognitive flexibility. The cognitive advantages, of course, of bilingualism, such as improved executive functions and problem-solving skills, would continue to benefit Alice as she grew older. As Alice embarked on her lifelong cognitive journey, her family's loving and supporting environment, coupled with their emphasis on education, exploration and values, undoubtedly shaped Alice's cognitive development positively. Alice's cognitive processes were matured with each passing day and her intellectual potential flourished. So with that, that's the end of part 4B. In part 4C, we'll tell the story of Alice a 23rd century cognitive thought experiment. And of course, as I mentioned at the outset, please forgive the utopia of what I've just read versus the dystopia of the 23rd century Alice's environment. But of course, it is to serve a particular and specific purpose, and various points on the trajectory of each 19th century Alice being 0, 23rd century Alice being 100 in terms of utopia and dystopia. We can balance that by bringing the points together on that bias curve. But to juxtapose the two extreme examples is to show the extreme benefits of one versus the extreme negatives of the other. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining me for part 4B of GP's primer series on cognition, cognitive warfare, the human brain as the 21st century battlefield, and relativistic concepts of reality. And I'll see you all in the next video installment, part 4C. Go raibh míle maith agat, slán agus beannacht é, agus éireann go brath.